Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
Yo.
I'm not wearing my glasses.
Normally we have some sort of cold open, but there's this void, and I'm holding a clipboard in front of me, and I feel like I've just gotta, welcome, friends. But there's something too abrupt about that,
Like, last time I said, hey, and then you tried to immediately start the cold open, you tried to immediately start the open, and I was like, oh, I did a bad. I just did a bad thing.
We're all here doubting our vibes.
Well, the problem is
trusting the vibes.
Vibe.
Just now when I did a little musical, I just did a bad thing. I couldn't remember if that was the entire history of the world, I guess, guy, or Billie Eilish, so...
I did a bad thing.
I did a bad...
It feels like the Kids Bop version, except why would they be censoring it? I don't know. Nothing last week. So, yeah, everybody good to get started? I guess we're just leaning into it. It's already 8. Let's do some Tabletop RPG.
I was going to wait for you to start reading and then do the riff from Bad Guy, but I thought that might be too much.
Nothing last week. Editorials about sovereignty. I think the week after that, a column on Little Inlet's food problems. And then there was a third week. It's been 36 days, but batch cooking stretched out the rations longer. At long last, this week is the big haul. General store got food stocked. Thanks to your friendly newspaper cowboy, the town hasn't made the connection and still thinks you're going to try and reopen the old sawmill. The trio pull into town in the late afternoon, having mastered the art of wedging the wagon into the tiny, doorless shed behind the tavern. The tavern keeper self, unlike her son, has been running an inn for many years as it happens. She's picked him a bit better for you this time around. Pink room for Henny, caramel nougat crunch room for Vesta, and the seashell room for Reggie. Just the keys, and with the rooftop window unlatched, and just open a crack. Business as usual at this point, just waiting for some sort of response. Just another run into town. Welcome to Bloodwine.
Bloodwine.
Nice.
Man, do you think Billie Eilish would be mad if we just sort of stole that riff as the intro to Bloodwine?
I would be mad.
Yeah, because Will made a riff for the intro to Bloodwine that I'm trying to work on and make, but I'm lazy.
See, now you feel my pain. It's like there's already stream, and then there's work, and then there's life, and then you go, okay, now I just need to make an intro. Oop, almost dropped the clipboard. Not that I need it right now.
Yeah, but I'm also just like, yeah, I could do that, and then there's life, and then also I have to edit highlights, and it's another month already? Fuck, I have to do that again, and I need to watch this video, and oh god.
There was this myth that the pandemic was going to give us free time, and it just didn't happen.
No.
It just didn't. Same amount of time.
Turns out I can just convert all of my work that I was doing beforehand into work that I now do at home.
And now there's no physical separation between work and leisure.
Woo! We're all blending the spaces in our own minds.
Anyway, I'm gonna go check the mail.
All right, Henny's off to check the mail. What about Reggie and Vesta?
I'm trying to find a position for my body, like in real life, that the sun isn't directly on me.
Have you considered closing or obscuring the window in some manner or fashion?
We don't have blinds for that window.
We have a moving blanket that I put up with, welding clamps.
With clamps.
That's creative. Creative solutions. I like it.
Yeah,
And
I see your predicament.
I did try to duct tape a sheet over the other window, but...
What if I just go like this? You can't even tell.
Yeah, totally can't even tell. Can't even see. It's fine.
We might just wait until it fades a little bit and then
after all, the sun does tend to go down while we stream, so...
Just bask in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of hot. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, our stream is the hot new trend of the
Yeah.
season.
It's the hot
Wow.
shit.
Way to fucking twist the script on that one, Will.
So what's Reggie up to?
Reggie's probably checking on the horses for like the 30th time. Not even the 30th time, like the 30th time today. Like, just, yep.
All right. And what was Vesta doing again? I know that Henny was gone for the mail.
Getting the local newspaper.
All right. So, Reggie, you head out back to go and double check everything's good for the horses. And you see, just in the time it took for you to go in, get the keys, and come back out, there's a pig tied up out front.
Why would we have a pig tied out front?
It's not your pig. And so, Henny, you're trudging up the trail up towards the rookery. Vesta, you open the door, and sure enough, Mr. Newspaper Cowboy's there. He's fluffing the page. Oh, hello.
Is this where...
Yeah, are we in the town or at the warehouse?
You're in the town. You've come in for a supply run.
Where can I go to get my own newspaper?
Well, I order them in, so it's really just one.
Oh, okay. Well,
And I think, and he like fluffs the newspaper and he pauses. No. And it's one of those pauses that just is long enough where you're tempted to speak, and then he goes, I think there might be another one. Maybe.
okay, well...
And he folds the newspaper and he just goes, what's that?
Pains me. He pains me.
All right, well...
Anyway.
Okay, but yeah, whenever you're done with that one, I could read it. That'd be great. Just,
Gonna take it with you?
I don't have to, I guess. Just look it over real quick, see if there's anything.
Well, if you were gonna. And he reopens the newspaper and leans back further into his chair. The front page story is something completely unrelated.
Okay.
I both love and hate this man. I love and hate everything about this man.
All right, Vessel's gonna walk out. Just let him do his reading, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so you walk out and you see Reggie just looking at a pig. The pig looks at Reggie, looks at you, just sort of goes.
I mean, not my pig, not my problem, right? But, you know, have you seen this pig before? Before this? Why is there a pig here?
I don't know. Maybe he's somebody's pig.
Like, Will, is the pig tied up with our horses? Like, just chilling?
So the horses are in the back of the tavern. The pig's out front. When you guys came in, you all went into the tavern, got your keys, and then turned around and left. So you actually went, and then the way that you turned, you didn't see it. And then on the way back, Reggie, you saw the pig.
Okay.
Henny, you have no idea what's going on with the pig. You just went towards the rookery. Vesta, you went in. You didn't notice a pig. And then when you turned around, you saw a newspaper cowboy.
Okay.
So, Henny.
That's me.
After a short trudge, you make your way up to the rookery. The wagon's back tucked in the cavern. It's just a light box that you get every time. Maybe two, you just stack them on top of each other. It's no problem. You're just walking into the rookery. It's a little later, but they're still open around this time.
So, here to get some... Oh, right, I'm a friend of Corvinia's.
Oh, yes.
Associate. For Vinius.
Goes through. He goes, right, so... And he puts down one note. That should be your, Mr. Corvinius' special package. And then...
Okay.
So you have one little package note thing. He passes you another one and he goes, all right, this should be... And then he takes another one and he gives it to you, and he takes another one and he goes, yep, that should be all of them.
Okay. I guess we'll pick up the rest of the everyone else's mail too. The big bulk mail order.
Yep, that's Mr. Corvinius' usual package.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. And I tip my hat.
Right, so you quickly tuck outside. You've got four little notes. There's no outside markings. They're just sealed.
Okay. Well, I will take these back to the hotel or to the tavern. Sorry, to open them up, just so I don't have like letters flying everywhere.
So as Vesta and Reggie are both squinting at this pig, Reggie, you actually notice like a bead of sweat on the pig's brow, just like what's going on? And then Henny, you close in and you just see Reggie and Vesta like basically just leaning in, like silently grilling this pig. Do you question what's going on, or do you join in?
Yeah. There's not a chance. Like, I've never seen that pig before in my life. There's not a chance that pig is Cree, is there?
You aren't prone to recognize pigs.
I'm gonna start like asking it questions and just being like, "What is your purpose here, pig?"
The pig just like leans down and gnaws at it, like sniffs about a different bit of dirt, and then eats a bit of grass. It then sniffs around and it looks at you, Henny, and it sniffs and it looks at your hand holding the notes and kind of like sniffs, and like there's a little bit of like a ripple of lip right as you're like, okay.
Okay, well, you
Detect
guys...
magic on this pig.
Well,
detect magic on pig.
I'm going to go get our mail in a pig-free distance if you guys want to figure out if this pig is a threat, I suppose, because you seem very suspicious of this pig.
You guys are having this conversation, and you notice that across the way, there's a farmer just carrying a hay bale. And right as you notice him, he kind of just looks forward and keeps walking, but you see him kind of like shaking his head.
Is your pig? That's who's anyone? Why would you bring a pig into town?
You got horses. There's hay and produce and meat that gets brought in here all the time. Can't really pack things and keep them cold in a way that's economically efficient outside of just ice and salting things anyways. So you bring meat into town to have it butchered and sold.
But why is it out front of the tavern? Why isn't there like...
Because there's a hitching post.
Why do you need to hitch the pig?
So it doesn't run away.
But you're bringing it to... Why not just bring it there? That should be your first stop. You get rid of the pig. And then you go about the rest of your business.
So all of you guys are sitting there like staring at this pig, and there's a second drop of sweat that goes down, and you see the door creak open, and Newspaper Cowboy opens it and squints at you and goes, "What are you doing with my pig?" And he passes you a newspaper. Done with the newspaper.
Why wouldn't you just bring the pig to be butchered and then read your newspaper?
Wait, I thought this was the farmer's pig.
Now, the farmer was just looking at us weird.
Oh.
Nothing unusual with that.
And he's still kind of like grasping onto the edge of the door, and he's like, "It's a pig. Come in. Sit down."
Well, okay.
Has to accept that. And walks in.
Reggie keeps his eye on the pig. He doesn't like it.
The cowboy guy keeps an eye on you, and he goes,
As he's going in, as Reggie's going in, but he's still like
the pig sort of turns around and chuffs a bit of dirt. As you guys are walking over, the cowboy seems almost more curious than anything. He goes, Are you livestock farmers? They do it different elsewhere? Have you had bad experiences with prior pigs?
I'm just questioning the efficiency of it. And also, I don't like pigs.
You don't like pigs?
So as you say, like, I question the efficiency of it, the cowboy, like, leans over and he goes, Good question.
Thank you. I suppose it's not one I'm going to get an answer for, is it?
Okay, well, thank you for the...
It's harder to do every time.
I'm going to go up and read the mail. I don't think the pig is secretly Cree or anyone else.
Well, you know what? No, I hope that it is secretly Cree. That way when it goes to the butcher shop, it does our job for us.
All right, so Henny, you wander upstairs. You sort of shrug. You open the door. It's the pink room. You sit down and you pop first seal. It's a number. You don't know. It's one of the box numbers. Second seal. Box number. Third seal. Box number. And then the fourth one, finally, you open it and it goes, check mail first, then purchase pig.
Okay.
I was just thinking, how disturbing would it be to be a butcher and someone sells you a pig and it's like squealing and trying to get away from you, but you do the usual butcher stuff, and then as you're killing it, it just turns into like a human.
You can't just...
That seems like a fable from the 1200s or something.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-oh.
it's so weird.
We could play this game all day, right? Like, wouldn't it be weird if you were a doctor and you were operating on somebody, but then, like, you know, when you cut into them, they're just filled with jelly beans? Like,
what if you were a doctor and you were doing surgery, and inside of someone there were two wolves?
Oh, shit.
oh,
One was gay and the other one was gay, and that person was gay. Yo, you really gotta put that camera down. Like, that is the worst angle ever.
Oh, shit.
We are currently having technical and lighting malfunctions.
okay, I'll be...
We are in the process of fixing the ongoing issues. We thank you for your continued patronage and patience as we adjust to these ongoing difficulties.
In these difficult times.
Fuck, you beat me to it. In these difficult times.
Just like that.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
Yeah, just like
Sometimes we just need to take a bit of time for ourselves to take care of things.
There. Just move it a little bit.
Oh, God.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
It's fine.
It's fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Oh, no.
God damn it.
What are you...
No,
She had it. She had it.
you had it. I ruined it.
I had it.
In these difficult times.
In these trying times.
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, Henny has some... Henny's sitting there, and Henny's got some letters. Box numbers.
Okay, well, I will go back with the box numbers. As I head out, I silently slip the note that says check mail first, buy pig after to Vesta.
All right.
Okay.
Yep, Vesta, you get the note. You quickly read it, and then you just palm it.
Should I check the rest of the mail first before buying the pig?
Well, I'm going to go get the mail.
The letter says, like, check mail, then purchase pig.
Oh.
So yeah,
Yeah,
Henny, go get the mail.
I'm gonna go get them.
Oh, so there's more mail.
There's more mail. I just got a couple of letters, and the letters had the boxes with the mail in it, but I wanted to open those letters in private in case there was anything like incriminating.
So you
The poor mailman is just constantly harassed by Henny's inefficiencies and paranoia.
So yeah, you make your way back to the rookery, and as Henny's sitting there going like, maybe I'm just paranoid, maybe I'm just demanding, this problem, the rookery. And you walk in, and then the rooker sort of smiles and goes, I was wondering when you'd be back. Usually you've got boxes. Make some tea.
Oh, what
Me,
a
like-
nice Ford Rooker.
He sort of just like sits down sort of off the side behind the counter where there's a tucked away chair for just like leaning back. Blows on the tea and goes, puts it down.
Well, I would love to sit down, but
We'll go on then.
And I grab the boxes and I sprint out. God, I'm so scared.
You don't know you have like numbers.
Well, I have numbers. I need box. I also need to go buy a pig. Man, I need
Rooker looks at you and goes, sounds like a busy day.
you know the pig
slip.
market.
If you want to pass me the slips with the numbers on them.
Oh, right. Here you go.
And he looks at them and he goes, all right. Henny, you're of this sort of mind where it's like, if you see a pattern or like a specific number, like a 5 or a 25, like it just bells, like you're just like, oh, pattern,
Yeah.
pattern. So yeah, one of them is like a random box number. It's 184. But then you see, for the first time, you've had like ones, and then once you had a 2, but this time it's 001002.
Well, that's weird.
And he goes and he unlocks something, and you see a few, like one of the boxes dislodged, and you go to grab it out. It's number 184, just typical size mail box thing, bunch of documents. And then there's another click, and then there's another click, but nothing dislodges. You're looking at the rookery, you're looking at the wall of boxes.
Huh.
And then you
001.
hear a big heavy clunk, and then through the hole where the 184 box, you see the rooker look through, and he goes, "Oh, could you back up a little bit towards where the bench is?"
Yeah, sure.
And you back up, and he goes, "A little more."
Okay.
And there's another, and he goes, "Oh. No, I think you're good." And then he goes back, and you hear clink, 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 and then sure enough, like the very, very tip of one of your toes, the floor's raising, and you sort of, oh. And then there's a clink, 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 clink. You can hear it's probably some sort of chain mechanism, and the floor itself is lifting up, and there's these big boxes that go 001002. They're not huge, like you would just have to like make a run with this one and the mailbox and then go and get the other one later. But like they're basically big like Rubbermaid tote size like boxes of documents.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'll be right back.
All right. What do you bring with you?
I bring box 001 in the mailbox.
Okay, roll brawn.
Dice. Okay. Well, luckily for us,
You've been working out.
yeah, I got a 3.
Good workout. Nice to see Reggie's training is paying off.
Mhm.
So like you basically go to grab it, and then you don't even move. You don't like even exert yourself. You just kind of click and go, wow, I guess a box full of paper is just like a big log, isn't it? And then you like completely rejig footing, and there's like an awkward like, oh, no, no, and then like the worker sees you, and he's like halfway out the door, going, and then you're like, oh, I got it, and you got the box, and it's awkward and big, but you sort of shuffle your way out the door, and then you're at the door, and you're at the edge of this, like, it's not even a porch, it's just like a little flat area for where the door opens, and then you go down 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the ground. And you go, ooh, roll brawn.
Wait, I don't get to do that. I only get 1. And I got a 1.
1.
So, as like things have happened back in the tavern, there's been communication. Reggie, you're sort of just out of the corner, sort of like on the street, looking over at the pig. You look over down the street, and you see distantly Henny, like basically big, wide, low, bow-legged, like hoop with a box, and then there's a step, and there's like a suspense, and then and Henny goes down sideways. Nothing's broken, the box is fine, it's just like a whoop.
Reggie's gonna chuckle and then go over and help. He'll help Henny up first, and then he'll right the box and lift it.
Oh, thanks, Reginald.
All right, Reggie, roll brawn.
Happy to.
Maya's being very needy right now.
Maya's asking to be on stream. Maya's trying to get into the limelight.
21.
21. So basically, Henny, you've got dust over half of your jacket. You've taken it off of you, and you just see Reggie go up and start walking.
This was all of it, right? Is there
No,
there's
there's a second one. I have to make another trip.
Based on the roll of 21, Reggie, hey, fuck it, you could do another box.
Yeah, so like, let's go get it. Let's go get it.
And you just hup, you like brace it a little bit on like a pointy edge of one of your like scales with your hip. With the other hand, you just open the door and walk through. You see the other boxes there.
Okay, here you get that box. I'll get the second box, and then we can kind of.
And with the same roll of 21, you go, no, I got it, and you put the other one on top. You just go hup, steady, whoop, and you've got all 3 boxes. And let's go.
All right, get the door. You're on door duty now. And Gabe's on dog duty now.
She's borking.
She's borking. She's
So-
a bork dog.
Henny leans over, opens the door for you. You sort of shuffle out. Roll brawn again.
Fuck.
No.
That is.
This is dog stream.
Doggo stream.
Doggo stream.
Okay.
That is 8, 12, 14, 15.
Okay, so you get there. First step. And you just don't move. And you go for the second, and you face plant, and you're just like flat on top of the crates. Luckily, these are like rookery crates. They're nice and stable. They're meant to hold a whole bunch of paper, but you're just like flat on top of them, and you have to awkwardly kind of stand yourself up again.
Oh, my bad. Bad footing. Bad footing.
Do you want me to take one of those boxes?
Maybe take the small one. I got the big ones.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
Oh, man.
All right, so Henny just picks up a box, and then Reggie, roll brawn again.
I'm determined to carry both of these fucking totes.
Vesta, it's been 10 minutes.
Okay.
I better go see what they're doing.
That's 17.
I've seen my way over there.
All right, so you walk over, you turn your head, and you see Reggie lean down and then pick up a box and straighten up, and another huge box flips over that box and falls down while he's got the first one. You see the physical movement that implies a cuss word.
Huh.
Well, maybe if we stacked all the boxes and then worked together, we could like Balance it.
Okay, I go up and I'm like, okay, how about Reggie takes one box and me and Henny share another box?
Okay, so Reggie goes and grabs one of the boxes and goes, okay, Hanny, put the small box on top. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
All right, so there's a whole shebang with boxes. Vesta and Henny have one, and then Reggie has the other. All right, roll brawn, helping each other with Hesta and
Benny.
Hesta and Benny.
What do you need to roll?
Just 1d6. That's my brawn.
Do you want me to roll it for you?
Yeah.
That's an 8.
5.
So an 18 from Reggie, 5 from Vesta,
Or Henny.
Henny. I rolled it for him.
a 4.
So 9
5.
total for Venny.
Benny.
For Benny, yeah.
Okay, so Reggie, you got a good grip, and you start walking, and you hear a clunk behind you.
I'm just gonna keep walking. Just
Can I roll to help Henny?
I was assuming you were helping each other with the one remaining box.
Okay. Oh, goodness.
You hear a creaking of the door, and the rooker sort of peeks out and goes, I'm sorry, I can't leave my post.
oh, don't worry. I'll be back. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'll be back to pick up that one.
Okay.
So I'm going to give the gimmick away for the sake of drama for the subsequent rolls that are still going to be required, because Reggie's in the clear. It's just a 10 brawn for each big crate.
Yeah.
So 20 if they're stacked, and the other one is just you can carry it, it's fine. And so all this has been is rolls that are just right and then just failing, and just right and then just failing. So with your 17 for picking up the crate, you get all the way back to your room. You go up to the seashell room and you clunk it down. And Henny's paranoid, so she's locked the door. And Vesta's wise, so she's locked the door. And you've made the agreement with the tavern keeper, so you go and you click and the door is locked. Do you know where you left your keys? Henny and Vesta helping each other. Roll brawn again.
One of you needs to roll a 6, the other one needs to roll a 4. Come on.
Where would I...
Scroll up.
I need to find my...
This was like one check. It just ballooned into being excellent.
8 in total.
8
for both of us.
combined. All right, so I'll keep that in mind.
They are gradually getting it closer.
So Reggie, you're in front of this room. You've put down the box. Where did you leave your keys?
I probably would have it on me. Like, that's not really a thing that I would let go. Like, I don't even really care much about the room, so I don't even know if I would keep it locked. Like...
Well, you were given the keys and the room's locked until you unlock it.
Oh, fair enough. So
Do you
I would probably have...
Do you have a coin purse?
I would
Do you
probably
have
have
a
the...
backpack?
Yeah, like, I would probably have the keys around my belt or in my backpack. Probably my backpack.
All right, roll odds and evens.
Long odds or no?
Just normal ones. I'm not that mean.
Alright, odds. It's 2. That's evens.
All right, give me another roll, Henny and Vesta.
Okay. 4.
You've really lowered the odds here at that 4.
1.
That's a 5.
5.
All right, and give me... Okay, so then you managed to... and you found them. They weren't in your backpack, and then they weren't in either your pocket or your belt. So then you went back in your backpack, and they just slipped into the bottom because they're pesky keys, and you unlock it, you put the box in, you close the door. At this point, you kind of just... and you lock it, and you make sure it's in your pouch pocket, you know it's there, and you start walking back. And by the time you're outside the door, you just see Henny and Vesta. You wouldn't notice them as being drenched with sweat because they're both like fuzzy beast folk, but they're just looking a little bit unkempt. as they've got this box and they just clunk it on the porch in front of the tavern.
Oh, good effort.
Good effort.
I'm going to say that I picked this up because I literally cannot fail since you told me the check.
Okay, so you just hope and you pick it up.
Nice. You know, I should work out more. I say as I
highly recommend it.
So yeah, you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I should work out more. And you go to stretch, doing the one where you like brace yourself against something and like that. And as you do that, you're on the edge of the tavern and you look dead at your wagon. You had a wagon.
Yeah, it's our wagon.
Is the wagon still there?
Yeah.
We could have put the box in the wagon.
You see, but that would have required us to go back and get the wagon, and then we would have had to hitch up a horse.
But then we wouldn't have had to carry the boxes.
If you had just carried your end properly.
Gabe
Good.
says, having rolled 1 like 3 times.
Now the thing about that is, I rolled a 1 once.
Twice.
At least twice.
Once while I was just trying to carry it on my own.
Yeah, fair enough.
So this debacle is finished. The door is closed. You guys are in the tavern. What do you do?
Not me. I'm upstairs opening the mail to see if there's anything we should know before we buy that pig.
All right, so you crack it open, and it's one of those things where at first you just see a bunch of letters that are addressed like tos and froms that are all obviously nicknames from different people, and some of them are encoded, like they're literally just gibberish, and like, oh god, Corvo! And just as Henny's first instinct, you leaf through them to see how many there are, like how many envelopes, and then you just hit one that's obviously full of coins. And then you take it out, and it's like, to Mr. Corvinius from Pitt, and then it's Viper, like ERRE.
Okay. Okay, what's in the second crate?
This wasn't the crate. This was just the first little box.
Oh. This is just coded mail. Okay.
So Reggie's gonna plop down the second box and just be like, yeah, I'll get this one open while you look at the next one.
So when you guys pop open both of the crates, you genuinely just see like stack of paper, stack of paper, stack of paper, folder, 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 stack of paper, stack of paper. There's literally boxes the size of your normal mailbox just like stacked in a corner of this box. You see that like there's a couple of boxes that have like literal like scroll circle like slots in them full of paper.
Oh, this
Wow.
is gonna take us a long time.
Okay. I am scanning through anything pig related. Anything related to purchasing a pig.
So you put down the letter with the jingling in it, and you look through just the first mail, and there's none of the names reference pigs or anything like that.
Does the note with the money in it, does it have a note in it?
I pass it to Vesta while I keep looking.
So you see Henny just like knee deep in this box going, no, not this one, not this one, not this
I
one.
was gonna say
That's
this
the wrong
is very
address.
much.
This is the wrong person. This isn't the right person. No, this can't be. And Henny just goes, I don't know, you check, and hands you literally like an envelope full of coins.
I was gonna say I'm
And
picturing
you take
Penny
out-
basically being in like it's sort of like a pile of leaves, like when you rake them for
Yeah.
fall and then you jump in
Mhm.
them, and like that's Henny.
I'm just checking the mail to see if there's anything like, when purchasing the pig, be sure to refer to him as Mr. Tum Tum.
And you hear like a bunch of fluttering things, and there's a thing full of coins, and one that says like, open the mail, then purchase the pig.
Is there a note with the money?
You open it. Nope, just money.
Okay.
Guess
I'm
that's
gonna
It's
take
in various coins, but you count it as 5 silver.
Okay.
Or
I'm gonna
5 gold,
take the
rather.
pig, go to the guy with the pig. Ask him how much he wants for it.
All right, so you head back down to the tavern and you go, "Hey, how much for the pig?" And he goes, 5 silver.
Nice. I hand him 5 silver.
And he grabs it and he goes, "Hold on, farmer's superstition." And he walks over to the door, he opens it, and he goes, "Bye." And he closes it. And then you see him go, "Well, hold on." And he actually leans sort of like against the edge of the door to like where he's not in front of the door, but it would be rude to reach towards the door. And he counts some. He gets the coppers wrong. Pauses. Coppers, silvers, gold, and then he pauses. Recount. And he goes, it takes ages, and then finally he sort of like goes, and he goes to sit down.
Okay. I tie up the pig with the horses, I guess.
All right, Vesta, roll understand. I think it was 3 dots.
It's actually 2.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's a 10 for understand.
So the pig just looks at you, and you just go like, tired pig, must have been out all day. Pig just looks exhausted. And you
Okay.
walk over and you hitch up the pig next to the horses, and you head back inside.
Can I get it some food or something? Maybe some water?
You're sort of sitting there and looking through your things and leaning out the window. The newspaper cowboy guy sort of leans over and goes, "Oh no, should be good for today."
Okay. Sounds good. I go back up to the letter reading, I guess.
Did you get the pig? I'm still sifting through letters.
I got the pig.
Okay, awesome. I don't see anything here about secret code words to sort of.
All of these are sealed letters addressed to different people. Are you opening them?
No, I'm looking for one titled "Mr. Swine" or
You already went through that pile like 3 times. You didn't find any. The rest are just
Okay.
the big crates full of documents.
Okay, well, I suppose once we sort of fill up on supplies, we should get these crates on the wagon and then head back. It would be foolish to try and go through all these documents right here and now, right? We should probably wait and sort of take an organized approach
Yes, absolutely.
instead of staying up all night
Yes.
sorting through these documents.
Absolutely.
Which is why they will stay in my room, right?
Right, that makes total sense.
I think that's a good idea.
All right, and so there's a look like a bottle being taken away from an alcoholic, understanding what needs to be done as the crates get dragged into the seashell room. The door's closed, and there's a lock, and it's like click, and then he kind of goes, It's done.
Poor Henny.
You guys head downstairs and you sort of go, okay. And you look over to the general store and you went through like your whole bunch of supplies that you had banked for this entire journey. You didn't expect to be here this long, so you got to pick up another month's worth. You're expecting to probably fill up this wagon.
Okay. I read through the newspaper that I got a little while
All right.
ago.
Wait, fill up this wagon as in fill up the wagon with supplies for the month, or fill up this
Yeah.
wagon as in fill up the wagon with supplies and the mail that we're going to have to bring back?
And the mail.
Okay.
You didn't expect it, but like you probably should have room.
Okay.
Luckily, the crates that you got are big square crates, so they're easy to work with in terms of storing things.
Okay.
So you guys unwedge the wagon. You hitch up the horses. Vesta, you're just looking through the paper. Nothing. No updates. And the wagon hitches up, and then you sort of just sit on the back. No updates. And as you're turning the corner away, you look up, and the pig for a brief moment is looking at you, and then you turn the corner, heading back to the general store.
Weird pig.
I'm gonna go investigate the pig.
All right, so you're on the wagon, piloting it, and it's not far to just get it towards the general store, and you just slow up, and you get off, and you get back onto the path. You head back towards the tavern. Reggie and Vesta, you're loading up supplies, yeah?
Yeah, I would also like to point out that Reggie wants to buy a bit of cloth, like thick cloth.
Okay. What color, type of cloth?
Color literally doesn't matter, just so that Reggie can't see through it.
Oh, yeah. You get like a little square of canvas. They have enough of it so that you're able to add it to your supplies. You invest it together. You're unloading things. It's nice and quick because you've got Reggie's strength and Vesta has 4 arms, and so you're kind of hup, 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 hup. Meanwhile, Henny, you head back towards where the horses and wagon were. Now there's just the pig there, hitched up, looking over at you. Pig looks back down, chuffs at some grass.
All right, pig, what do you know?
The pig apparently doesn't know what you just said. The pig seems to have just sort of like you see the ear twitching, going, "Oh, a noise happened," but continuing to.
Pretty smart for a pig, aren't you? To not reply to that obvious trap. Does the pig have any sort of like a collar or anything where something secret could be hidden?
You look, and it's a pig with just a lead that's hitched up to a hitching post. Pig seems to be fine. You look over the lead, which the pig it hasn't like chafed or ridden up or anything. Seems to be fine.
I'm checking in the pig's ears.
The pig seems to kind of resist it,
So I'm checking
the way
in
an animal would.
I'm checking in the pig's mouth.
There's like an oinking and an oinking, and then you get there, and there's like a painful but not damaging bite on your fingertip from the pig, and the pig kind of like gets a bit of distance from you. Roll understand.
Oh no. Well, there's kind of only one orifice left, and I don't know if I got a 6.
Okay. You kind of just go, all right, well, there's only one. And you see the pig just like look side to side and then shift to a yellow snake face and go, shut the fuck up and go inside, and then go back to a pig.
I knew it. I knew it.
You see a look of utter exasperation at the pig that has witnessed the entire debacle with the crates, going, oh, should we look through the... No, let's look through the... No, let's go to the The pig just started watching, being stared over by 3 people going, pig. So, yeah, Henny, you head back into the tavern.
There was a reason I said it out loud. Goodness. Okay. Fucking knew it. I'm not headed back to the tavern. I'm headed back to the general store to help my friends load up.
As you get back there, it's just in time for you to help bring the wagon back. They've loaded up. With the goods on, you won't be able to fit it into the shed, which frankly at this point is a bit of a mercy because you can just park it and go, eh. So all 3 of you come back. Henny hasn't said anything about the pig investigation, but Henny and Reggie, you're both looking at this pig sort of curiously, and Henny just kind of looks mortified.
Could you imagine being like a shapeshifter and you have to like hide for whatever reason, and so you have to be a pig, and like the person who just purchased you as a pig is like checking over your ears and like your mouth and you're actually just like a person who's shapeshifted into a pig.
And then you hear them say, well, there's only one more hole left.
Thing is, I gave them a chance. I gave them a chance to reveal their identity with dignity. I asked verbally, very clearly, what do you know? That would have been a great time to give me some sort of a wink or something, but no, they were like, oh.
If that pig had winked at you, you would have ordered Reggie to, like, take the axe to it. Like, you would have freaked the fuck out.
No, I suspected this right. Remember the first thing I said is, I bet you it's Cree. I suspected this from the beginning, but you are right. I probably would have had it executed.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the night passes.
The night passes.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn comes, and Vesta, you take some time to get up. You hear that the others have awoken earlier. Reggie, you sort of get up and you open the door, and Henny's right in front of it.
We need to load up the mail into the cart.
Wait. I was... No, I lean against the door frame. How did you sleep?
You lean and you see box, little box.
Oh, Reggie has them, like, perfectly stacked in the corner, too. It's fully in view. And, like, there's, like, a beam of sunlight onto it, too. So it's like, ah!
Yeah, there's, like, the windows open a crack so that you could get in if you shapeshift, and, like, so there's just a little bit in morning dew. The curtains are ever so gently swaying as they're parted, and just there's a beam of sunlight onto these boxes, flawlessly stacked. Yeah, how'd you sleep?
I slept great. How'd you sleep?
Wonderful. Definitely not.
That's great. Here, you want to take the small one? I'll start loading this.
Yes.
Don't worry,
sure.
I'll do them in 2 trips.
Hey,
Yeah.
Reggie, you do magic. Do you know anything about, like, dream interpretation?
Dream interpretation's definitely a new one, but you can tell me and I'll tell you what I think.
What does it mean if you have nightmares about pigs?
That's actually a fairly common thing. Reggie says, suddenly being like...
From down the hall, Vesta's gonna be like, it means you're crazy.
And both simultaneously feel like we say, shut up!
Yeah, we both just go, shut up! Reggie's just like, it's a very common
This
thing.
has devolved so quickly to, like, sibling tier shenanigans. Like, Reggie and Henny are both there, like, no, but and Vesta's just, like, sassing while walking out of, like, the room, like, with a little stick gnawing on it for the teeth, like a toothbrush, like...
Yeah, Reggie will just be like, pigs, especially wild boar, can be quite dangerous if left to their own devices. So, I think it's a very rational thing.
Henny, have you said anything?
No, this pig or snake.
Okay, okay, Reggie, Vesta.
Mhm.
What are your pig thoughts?
My pig
It's
thoughts
been a
is,
night.
My pig thoughts is Reggie's got it covered. There's a reason why he purchased the cloth. Reggie's got a plan.
Vesta doesn't have any pig thoughts. It's just like, pig. Maybe they want us to sacrifice it or something. Who knows?
Oh, God, that'd be great.
So you get back out there. It takes some time. You all lug the crates back out there in a similar debacle, but by now you've learned a little, not the full lesson, a little lesson about hubris, and you're at least doubling up on the big crates. You get them out, and it looks like someone's going to have to put like a barrel on their lap or carry a crate, or the pig's going to have to be like hitched to the wagon the whole way there.
I was going to say, Reggie is already just planning on walking.
Oh, this is with that taken into account.
Well, he'll walk the pig then.
All right, so Reggie, obliviously, you grab the end of the leash. You guys start clattering out of town. For some reason, there's just this awkward air about things until you're out of line of sight. What's Reggie's plan?
Reggie's plan is it's not necessarily right now, but probably around where we get to one of the last fork in the roads, he is going to blindfold the pig. He's going to blindfold the pig for the rest of the travels, so that if this pig is... Reggie's thought is, if this pig is a person, at least they won't know where our base is. And then Blue or someone else can do some shenaniganry to fix this.
So you're...
do shenaniganry.
Yeah, like Reggie, you're sitting there going... As you're planning, you get around a bend and around another one and around another one. You can't see the village at all. And then, in a voice that feels really, really faintly familiar, like not someone that you know very well, just like, who is that? Like, you hear a voice from amid you. Like, you're like, oh fuck, the pig is talking. And it's just like, okay.
I knew it. Once saw a fucking Pythona transform into an alligator. I fucking knew it.
Which Pythona was that?
That would be a Salus.
All right, so you say that right as this Pythona druid who's bright yellow that you met in passing, like maybe like 10 episodes or something back. A lawyer that spoke to Steelfist for a little bit just sort of go, wait, was that me or
no? That was you're a Pythona. Please just stop being a pig.
Oh my god.
Hey, it suits me just fine.
Oh my god.
So,
Oh yeah. Hello. How you doing?
Wait, what was his name?
Pit.
Pitt.
Hit. Okay.
Yeah.
You're Vesta, Henny, and Pitt points to you and goes, Reggie?
Reggie,
right. Been a while. How's, There's that awkward silence of people who have, like, spoken 2 sentences once, just like, yeah.
Why are you here?
Your case.
Oh.
You sent the letter?
Yeah.
Yes, that would be us.
Florence?
Yes. And you're here to help with that?
Yeah. I've taken some time given the information and our mutual contacts, and I understand that you don't really have a choice, but I would like to offer representation for the coming times.
That would be so very appreciated.
All right.
Why a pig?
Yeah, why are you a pig?
Why not like a bird or some sort of animal that could...
In fairness, the last time we saw a bird, we shot it
I
out of
wasn't
the
going to be taking
sky.
any chances.
Oh my god, you're so right.
Also, if I'm being honest, if I'm a pig, I can at least hang around close-ish to the tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So what's the deal
And I
with
mean,
the
Colton's
dude in
alright.
the tavern?
Hmm?
What's the deal with the newspaper dude in the tavern?
Oh, Colton, old friend. Cowboy.
Good for him.
Cowboy.
He's a bit...
That's why the pig thing.
He's a bit lackadaisical.
And there's
Larger.
like a 5-second pause as there's just wind and the trees and creak, creak, creak. And like conspicuous of that silence, Pitt sort of smiles and goes, yeah, I guess not much goes on around here. No rush. You guys clatter on towards the camp halfway back to town. Or halfway back to the warehouse.
Cool.
You've traveled throughout the day, petty threats. You're used to it. Are you guys doing anything while you camp midway down, or are you waiting until you get back to the warehouse?
No, wait until we get back to the warehouse, honestly. I feel like it would take about a warehouse trip for Henny to sort of be comfortable talking to this lawyer lady in like complete sentences, aside from sorry about.
Reggie's been making awkward conversation this entire way.
Yeah, so this has been like a skin-crawling 2-day trip of awkwardness back to the warehouse.
Like, Reggie's been asking questions like, how's the investigation going? How's, this, that, where'd you travel afterwards? Like, he's just been going on and on and on.
So given what Pitt does, you get a lot of, sorry, I can't really, I'm sorry, oh, it went okay. Like, brief, non-identifying answers.
Oh my god.
Nice.
And it's like the entire trip, someone's like at the mouth of a balloon going, and by the time you guys clatter towards the edge of the warehouse to where you're going to go to open the doors, the door opens and it's like a needle that pops the balloon as Steelfist goes, "Oh, hey, lawyer!" Wanders over towards Restiel, picks up a crate and goes, "All right, guess we're, okay." And, like, just sort of like in a, I guess that's what's happening now, he just sort of, like, walks back into the building and goes, "Hey, funny. Weird coincidence." Goes back into the warehouse.
Weird coincidence?
Sometimes I envy Steelfist's sort of jovial takes on the situation. Okay, well, let's get these crates unloaded and then those files sorted through.
So yeah, you guys quietly unload, and when you get back into the warehouse, it's like someone slowly started blowing up the balloon again because you guys are unloading crates and barrels into a warehouse, and there's someone who hasn't been here before that not everyone in the warehouse recognizes.
Oh, Reggie introduces, just being like, "This is Pitt. Pitt helped us before, or met
Civil
with us
rights
before."
lawyer.
Yeah. Pitt's a lawyer.
Pitt's a lawyer.
Pitt is...
And there's like a sigh in the room, and things kind of just go back to normal.
So this is where we've been hiding out. If anyone asks, we are trying to get the lumber mill operational.
Not a bad call. You would need a lot of documents for that. Right. Speaking of which, from the day and the other day it took to get back, by now it's like mid to late afternoon. But there's still a little bit of time to work, even though you guys are a bit tired from traveling. You're unloading some documents, and Pitt sort of starts folding and filing things in a nearby open table and goes, "Right, so where is your documentation so far? How do you want me to be sorting this?"
Well...
Reggie points to the wall. It's just like, "Oh, it's up there."
No. That's a prototype.
It's a prototype.
And there's like a little, like, ships in the night brief moment where you go like, no, it's a prototype, and you look in Pitt's eyes, and Pitt just kind of nods and goes, "Oh, okay," and goes back to unloading things.
I wish if I had known that someone sort of professional was coming over, I would have refrained from getting berry juice all over it, but...
Technically you didn't. You got it in your eye.
Some of it went on. So most of it went on. If I recall, it was a tiny drop that went in my eye, but most of the purple went on the image, and it was very cool and a good point that I made.
All right, then I'll just... And there's crates being unloaded and the thing full of scrolls. Anyways, sorry, I know we should be getting right to it because things are urgent, but I've been a pig for a week. Are you okay if I have Is there beer or anything? I'm kind of...
Yeah.
Albion!
Yeah,
You go, "Albion!" And it's like a scene out of a pirate movie. There's a foom from the mezzanine, and he slides down the banister, like the stairwell, leaps over a barrel, and then, like, goes from sort of the barreling leaps to like a graceful sort of calmness and picks up a crate and puts it down nearby and he goes, "Oh yeah, yeah."
I was gonna say the comedic like, can I get like a beer?
Oh goodness.
So, do you guys want me to give you an evening to de-awkward, or just jump right into the investigation material?
No, I think an evening to de-awkward is probably a good idea. Do you want to? I mean, I know if I was a pig for a week, I'd want like a bath. We could run you up. I don't mean to insinuate that you smell or anything. Just that's sort of a thing that we have access to. That
No, absolutely. Bath would be great. I was supposed to smell like a pig, so I mean, you know.
Okay, well, I will go do that. Eldrin, why don't you introduce our lawyer friend to the crew, as it were? And I hurry off and busy myself preparing a bath.
All right.
God, I wish you had said that she was a pig.
You spend some time filling up. You fill up a big, heavy cauldron. But at this point, you've been moving heavy crates to and fro, and you just kind of you go, "Okay, hubris," and you just very slowly and gingerly move it to the door, and then over and slide it on top of the sort of fire where everything's being prepared.
There
Start
are
heating
lots
up the
of
water for the
strong
bath.
people here that can help you.
I'm a strong person.
Yeah, no, but there are lots of other strong people.
Reggie taught me how to be strong in the real way, and that's when we beat up Nicki Minaj.
We beat up our problems and don't talk about our feelings. God damn it!
It's the real manly way.
Yeah.
And so the water slowly starts boiling. There's bottles that are passed around. The new supplies are in, and so right off the bat, there's a few people who go and start grilling some steaks since they're nice and fresh. There's a nice sort of hum that takes over the warehouse. There's still people keeping watch, as always, but the tension starts to break. Things are getting closer to back to normal. The water started to boil, a bath's been poured. And that goes on without much to say. You know, little conversations, things exchanged to and fro, unless you guys have anything to say to anybody.
Not really. Henny's just sort of hanging out, trying to relax. Probably not succeeding super well.
Yeah, you keep picking chairs that are facing away from the board, and your neck keeps hurting. And Henny's a detective. She knows the link between the two, which does nothing but further frustrate the issue.
Goodness gracious.
So eventually the morning comes. You wake up early-ish with some of the earlier risers. Trunk started coffee early. Passes some to Blue, you. Looks like Pitt's up early too, sort of just looking at your board before you've had a chance to do anything with it.
He's purple.
So you're sort of like, you go like, he's purple, you see. And in one of those moments where it's almost like there's a transcendence, like Pitt understands the frustration of your feelings towards that and goes, right? Like, and gestures towards where presumably Vesta's still just waking up and goes, quick thinking. Oh, right. So, sorry, did you want breakfast or anything? Or I have a lot of steam first thing in the morning, so
No, I'm ready to just get right down into it.
Right. So
I see if I'm making coffee.
Reggie and Vesta, you guys are just waking up as you hear this sort of like, all right, let's get right into it. So yeah, as you're making coffee, so what's the case so far?
So...
Oh, man.
Oh, goodness.
Gotta remember this from last
I
week.
remember it fairly well.
Tell you.
So the life drinker Voru has different aliases, and we believe that if we can trip him up in these different aliases, we can really get some traction here. So Boru has two primary identities. There's the Boru who sort of ran the Redcoat Mining Company and is tied up in that. And then there is the Boru who is sort of a world industrialist that has stolen commandeered an army and sort of caused a whole international debacle at Little Inlet. Oh my god, and the thing is, he used to be able to get away with this because he wasn't purple. But that sort of whole element of his ruse has drastically changed with his purpling. So if we can sort of force non-purple Boru to make an appearance, and purple Boru either shows up, that proves that they're the same person, or purple Boru doesn't show up and then he's tried guilty anyway, we could sort of blow a lid off of this whole international conspiracy.
All right, so Pitt's listening and Pitt gets you to go through it bit by bit with the documents that bring things into conjunction. You see that you actually have a few duplicates, but there's a bunch of other documents that were brought along that are, as far as you can tell, they're filings and injunctions and that sort of stuff. You exchange information for a little while, just little things like, oh, we have this tax form that confirms this. Oh, we have this statement from this person that claims this. For the most part, you don't gain a lot of new information. Your case is just solidified. It's a spider web, but as you get links and links and links, it starts to gain a clear shape, a clear sort of ebb and flow. Sure enough, that is basically the pin of it. Boru is purple. Bright purple. Unmistakably purple in a way that magic can't fix. You just have to prove that he is one person. So currently, there's a few problems, which the first of which is Vesta's murder charge.
Yes.
Vesta's murder charge.
What other sort of legal obstacles are you guys trying to tackle?
So we may have
We have to
committed.
get him there, basically, but that's on Steel Fist.
I mean, we may have committed a few crimes.
Look, this doesn't help me. Just say it.
Do you remember that man by the name of Vulcan?
No, we haven't. No, nothing else that is under our name, I believe. I believe the only thing that's under our name is my murder charge.
Well, your murder charge.
Yeah, they have no evidence of your involvement in the prior.
Yeah.
So that, I'm worried, could sort of... Yeah, well, I want to bring it up because worst case scenario, they sort of spring that as a...
It wasn't us. We didn't do it.
Right, but if you're in front of a jury and they bring that up, it could look bad. So you want to prepare for the worst case.
Completely different people.
Right, no, of course. That'd be two completely different people. There's that. There's, actually getting him to appear because he doesn't have to appear where the trial is being held here in the Freedlands.
Yeah, and so with the Freedlands, with the legal system that they have, we just, if we can, we want to get this trial out of there. And there's some books that are tapped, but just kind of in like a and then tap on a closed book with that spine you can't see. And yeah, according to these statutes, we should be able to get this moved based on the fact, well, frankly, based on the fact that we can prove gross endangerment to your life. Because if we can tie everything together in a cohesive case that we can bring to a jury, it should be just like that to prove, hey, the guy poisoned an entire island to come after you. Of course we have to move the trial. So... it's been so long since somebody sort of reminded us that it wasn't normal for us to have our lives threatened on a daily basis. Yeah, there's a lot of normals that you get used to.
Like being a pig.
Like being a pig. So, right, this case, and you guys pour over the notes a little more. So, the situation with Boru's alleged murder. Do you have the documents for that case? Have you guys been keeping notes on your own end, or are you relying on the sort of, hey, GM, what is it again, kind of thing?
I'm absolutely relying on you. Gabe has made some notes.
I had some notes, and then my actual job D&D came along, and those notebooks have been thoroughly sort of taken apart, reconstructed, and destroyed, so I don't really have those notes anymore.
Then I can just make things up on the fly, and I don't need to worry about continuity. Nice. So the person that you allegedly murdered, for the sake, like, they have full exact names, but Weapon Boru, Mind Boru. Weapon Boru is the one... Sorry, Mind Boru is the one you allegedly killed.
Yeah.
Right.
So that would mean that in order, basically, to get that reversed, you would need to get Mind Boru to appear.
Right.
And Mind Boru is Steelfist, so, like, it's Steelfist's dad and all the allegations against him, and Steelfist is able to call him to appear there.
And he's purple.
Because
Weapons Boru is purple.
But he's not supposed to be purple.
But he's not supposed to be purple.
So then, if this Boru is allegedly dead, then this Boru shouldn't be able to show up for this case.
Yes.
Right.
But the case is still underway, which means that somehow they've managed to secure him as an aggrieved party. That's a hook. I think we can get that. It's all the order, I think, and how we want to put things together. Now, what else is there in this case that we've got put together here?
I'm trying to... well, there's sort of the...
His connection to the Chickadee company.
Yes.
Let's think more of like and Pitt does a dramatic turn away and a dramatic turn back and goes, Your Honor, the case is simple. It is as follows. And then just gestures.
Boru's purple!
He's purple!
No, hang on. The case is simple. Boru is...
It's not illegal to be purple.
Right. Boru is a member of a top secret, soul-sucking secret society that has been pulling the strings on every major political system.
Okay, so that's going to make us lose right on the opening statement. That's going to get our case thrown out.
Right.
I don't think we can get the rest of them. I think we might just have to...
Identity fraud.
Identity fraud, that's one. Identity fraud, which ties the two together, which then makes the matters linked. But why are we getting everybody in one place? What is the singular story?
Boru is trying to overthrow the sovereignty of several nations.
So you, Pitt and Vesta, are all squinting real close, leaning in to this board and all these documents on the table in front of it. And then Pitt just stops, stands upright, and then turns and goes, Hey, Reggie, what's going on? Like, the situation, what's going on?
Like, the situation there?
Yeah, the Boru thing. What's the deal with the Boru thing?
Well, I mean, like... It's a little bit interesting that he's causing war, like he's causing strife between nations and stuff like that. Definitely trying to incite some sort of violence. He's definitely trying to pull the strings behind all that. So...
Okay, incitement of violence with a political motive. We would have to prove that, unless there's another motive. Thank you.
What if he's trying to sell weapons? No.
Well... When in doubt, what did he really do?
Tried to kill us.
Why?
Because we killed him.
We were getting in the way.
He's a racist. No, that's not it.
Much as I wish I could do that, that's not provable in a court of law.
I'm pretty sure he just kills everyone equally.
But yeah, survived the murder, and other things. What other things? You guys have a history with this guy, right?
We did destroy his mine. Well, Vesta, Steel Fist, Trunk, Elmira.
You were involved with the destruction of the mine. The royal you that refers to the aggrieved parties.
We were there when people were rioting in the mine.
How far back can we try? I mean, if we want to go all the way back, this all's going when he deserted at Rookery Hill, apparently.
Right, yeah, the Rookery Hill. And there's like some flipping. Yeah, that's the point where these identities intersect, and like as this is happening, Pitt is passing you papers.
He's a war criminal who's in hiding.
And after this event, there's and points to your board, and there's an old newspaper clipping of an alleged disappearance at sea for like the swindler mine owner Boru. Yes, there we are, and that, as far as I can tell, and there's a form that Pitt passes you, which is just a tax form, and goes, first time taxes were filed for warmonger Boru. The excuse being the founding of the kingdom and no files survived the transfer. We can bust that wide open. That's hogwash. That's obvious.
I mean, the war criminal angle is pretty good. Like,
well, we're trying to get this all together in one
true.
story. Who Boru is, what he did, why he needs to go to jail.
He's a swindler. He swindles. Yeah, at the core of it, that's the simplest way to put it.
Is it illegal to be a swindler?
Technically, yes, but not at the degree we want.
If you're a good swindler, it's not. If you're a bad swindler, it is.
He's done so many terrible things.
Okay, and Pitt takes out, like, from just a pile of paper, just a blank piece of paper, and dots a dash. Okay, so what's he done?
Okay, he's done human trafficking.
There's the Vesta murder debacle, and then there's a dash. So what really happened with that? With the murder?
The murder.
Well, I mean, if you want... Well, I mean...
Well, no.
day of...
Vesta, what happened?
It was very early on, Chelsea. Do you want help?
Yes.
You guys can meta answer, just not as your characters.
Yeah, the meta answer, we were tracking Kree to kill Kree, and Boru just was there.
And he was there, right? Yeah, because we went up to a camp. There was a camp.
Yeah,
and
it was like a barn thing.
The ambush at the barn.
Yeah, ambush at a barn. We got,
Yeah, ambush at the barn, we decapitated him. I mean, if you look at it from his end, we just walked into a barn and decapitated him.
Nah, he was outside. He was a guard outside, and we decapitated him.
So... And that, man...
So, alright, so you got into that debacle relating to trying to hunt down the life drinkers. We don't need to tell them that, we just need to remember that this is about that. Because he knows he's hunting you for the same reason. There's the attempted murder, and then you're charged, you're exiled upon penalty of death. Very simple, just goes, get out of our territory.
yeah.
What happens next?
Where did we go
broke
after
his
that?
mine, his human trafficking mine, where he was selling people to Celestia.
Yes.
Trunk nearby nods and he goes, yeah, didn't you guys come off the prisoner boat when we met you? Or a little
Yeah.
before?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so then we did that, and then Vulcan.
No.
Well,
those-
okay, hold on, little bit by bit. So the Redcoat thing, that begins your involvement with Redcoat, which is the case that's against him. He's involved with it. It's a trafficking operation.
Yeah.
You're hunting the life drinkers. You go after him, you get him, and then you go for his mine. After that happens, the riot takes place, and it's successful. The mine can't recover. It's shut down due to destruction.
It was that we didn't go to the mine for Boru
No.
or to bring
But
down
it's-
the mine.
But it's still what happened.
Yeah.
You went there after that murder, and then the mine was destroyed.
Yes.
What
Yes.
happened after you escaped the mine?
After we escaped mine, we...
Well, they hired some goons to come after us,
Yeah.
and we
Okay, so you had bounty hunters or hired mercenaries or assassins, depending on legality, coming after you.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is when Henny joined us. And when Leland left.
Yes.
Okay. So then we have witness testimony. We can make that work. So you've got people that are coming after you that we wouldn't be able to prove that they were hired by Boros, so we might not be able to use this at all, come to think of it. But anyways, that's what happened.
Mhm.
So then what happens after that, after you're hunted down by them?
We went up to the mountains and did some...
Yeah, I've got very few documents after you went low for a while.
Yeah.
That's sort of the point.
We went up northeast into the mountains. And then
Solved the murder trial.
there was a serial killer issue going on, and that's where Salas passed away.
Right, and this had no relation to the case?
I
Or
don't
was it-
think this has any relation to the case.
No,
though.
that doesn't have much to do with the case.
But this is when Reggie joined us.
Alright, so now from here on in, everyone here is involved.
Yes.
And so you continue your travels. What happens next from here?
We went north.
You went
We went
north.
We saw Reggie's family,
Right.
and then we went up to what's that city, Hammerhold?
No, well,
We tried heading to Hammerhold, but
Tried going to Hammerhold.
right.
I think we only went through it. Yeah, we went through it, which is where we picked up. Oh God,
I'm going to give you guys a moment to think as I run to the bathroom.
what the heck is the hunter's name?
Hunter's name? Jackson?
No,
Who?
Johnstone.
Johnstone. That's it. It
Right.
was something Stone. I couldn't remember.
And then we were being hunted
Yep, we were hunted by Milton's crew
by Milton's crew.
until
Remember that,
Milton?
Oh, Will's not here. Milton's
Oh,
not here.
of course, yeah, sure, it's my crew now. Yeah, like I had any say in what was going on.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so we'll wait for Will to get back. Man, we've done a lot of shit.
Done a lot of shit.
We've been a lot of places, done a lot of shit. Not a lot of heads to show for it.
No.
0, actually.
Yeah.
Me and Elbjorn, though, we've been here like this whole time, this whole
yeah.
thing.
Jeez. Elbjorn being the just drunken doge that he is.
Do you guys remember in the very first episode, we almost didn't take Elbjorn?
We almost forgot Elbjorn, yeah.
I almost forgot him.
And that's when
remember
I
when we
said,
almost forgot Elbjorn? In our like very first leaving the village type thing.
Alright, so what did I miss?
Okay. Tried heading up to Hammerhold.
That's where we picked up Johnstone
That's where we picked up Johnstone,
Hmm.
who is not really related to this at all.
and Bea.
And Bea? Did we get Bea there?
Bea was before that, but
Well, it was all
we picked
along
up
the way.
Bea along the way.
But basically, the next major sort of interaction you have with life drinkers.
Yeah.
that was...
That was when we were trying to find someone to hunt. We went up north and then went into basically crossed the snowy mountains, killed Lord Vulcan,
Right.
tried to head back to Hammerhall.
Well, wait, we were chased by...
Yeah, we were
Chet-
chased by Milton's crew.
That whole time. Because when we killed
Oh,
Vulcan,
right,
that's when
because
Milton...
we were going after
joined
Vulcan. Right.
And then from
So
there...
you went after Vulcan, and of course they have certain shared resources, and They have stakes here. This one was a big one, so Boru would be angry just by proxy.
Mm-hmm.
But very much in a petty way. We can probably get away with not mentioning this and have it still hold our case together. So after that happens, we meet for the first time.
Yeah.
As you're escaping, from what I understand, from there you were driven off onto the sea.
Yes.
Yes.
So what happens between the last time we meet and the disaster at Little Inlet?
We got a ghost ship.
Then we tried to get a better ship.
The
Yeah.
deal for the better ship was we had to go and get a shipment of lemons for Little Inlet.
Which we thought would be pretty simple.
Turns out there's a lot of paperwork.
A lot of paperwork.
So this thing with Little Inlet and all this paperwork and a shipment of lemons. So with the paperwork, you effectively put down your names somewhere, somehow, and Boru got wind of it.
Yes, we got a little bit sloppy. I believe I actually do recall the exact moment we fucked up.
When did
Is that so?
When I walked into the office of...
The Void Bay Embassy office and said my name is Henny.
Yeah, that was sort of a mistake, but at that point I was so frazzled and desperate to get out of there, I probably
We were
would've-
under very strict time constraints.
So Void
Yes, I
Bay
would've-
knew because of the embassy paperwork.
Yes.
Okay. And that's something that we could there's precedent, weak precedent, but some precedent for this being more coercive and you not being able to avoid this. He found you through this somehow. He showed up with it, Void Bay soldiers, easy enough. And he arrives at Little Inlet. When do you arrive?
A few days after he arrives, it couldn't have been that long.
We had found out that they'd been dead for about 2 days.
For about 2 days.
So
2 days.
I'm sorry, I understand this might be somewhat traumatic, but given your circumstances, it's not the first time. But could you walk me through the Little Inlet sequence of events?
Yeah, so we arrive.
We arrive.
And we know that there's something fishy going on.
On account of there being no live animals anyway.
And all the dead bodies.
And all the dead bodies.
So you arrive, there's no animals, there's just the dead, it's just you.
Yeah. And we call out, but nobody answers us. And we decide, okay, let's go look for some survivors. Like, maybe something happened. You know, maybe we can take care of some people.
All
so
right.
we dock the ship. We leave, I think it was Steelfist, and we left 2 people on the ship to guard the ship.
Yeah.
And we walked into the city and started looking around, looking for survivors. And we didn't find any survivors. But we figured out pretty quickly that I think it was the water that had been
Yes,
poisoned.
that the well had been poisoned.
The well had been poisoned.
And
So
that's
you arrive there fully after the well has been poisoned. This has already taken place. You have not detected anyone else here yet.
Yeah.
No. Yes, that's what happened. We
Yes,
have
that's
not
what
detected anyone else.
We get to the main square, and I want to take a sample of the well water. I think I did take a sample of the well water, didn't I?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were in the main square.
Just for clarification, we have samples. If you don't have the sample, we have one, for sure.
Okay.
We can prove that it's poisoned.
I'm pretty sure I lost that. So, you know. But I don't remember the exact sequence of events.
And then I believe it was trade.
Yeah. The trade and the void arrived at pretty much the same time.
So, okay, so you're in the town square.
Yeah.
And then the trade association arrives with Void Bay.
Yeah, well, they arrive separate from Void Bay. They arrive. They say, hey.
At the same time.
Almost simultaneously.
Would you say they came very close together in time or together? This will
Very
be important
close
for the
together
courts.
in time.
Very close together in time. They were not sort of...
They were not together. They were on
Working
opposite
together.
sides of the... They were on opposite sides, weren't they?
Yeah, they came on opposite sides of the town, if I remember correctly.
All right, so the trade association arrives. Void Bay arrives.
Trade association starts accusing us of what happened to the town. Void Bay starts, trying to egg them on from that. We have the paperwork to say that we didn't.
I try showing them the paperwork. We just got here with a shipment of lemons.
Okay, we're missing sections involving the other parties at play. You can see based on the look that you get that there's something that needs to be said in your words without information being provided about the sequence of events that's being used.
Well, before they started opening fire, Boru did stride directly to us and say, in his words, there will not be a fair trial.
And also the villagers at that time were the survivors at the time were poking their heads out telling the trade association of our innocence.
So when did the survivors appear?
The survivors first voiced, we did not physically see them, but they were voicing their opinions roughly around the time we were pleading our innocence and before we had shown them our paperwork.
We were accused of poisoning, and we were trying to plead innocence and explaining with documentation that we were not the ones that poisoned the well.
And so the trade association was there hearing you out, and the trade association was working with Void Bay sort of off the cuff to resolve the situation?
I believe, well, in my interpretation of the events was that the trade soldiers had been sent in to figure out what on earth was going on. They saw some suspicious characters. Initially said, hey, this is suspicious. Then the surviving citizens said, no, they weren't the ones who did it. And then from there, the trade soldiers said, we are going to trust the survivors of the town. It seems that these people are not guilty.
And that's when things turn.
And that's when Boru himself walked up and said, you thought there was going to be sort of due process.
Yes, because
that's when things turn.
I tried to show documentation. And I got out the documentation.
Now, there was...
and he ripped it.
And that's when the special forces appeared with Chet and...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the rest of their names.
And then I panicked.
No, I'm fairly certain that Chet and the other forces appeared before Boru appeared.
All right, and so that's when... Who threw the wilding salt?
I did.
So you threw the wilding salt, that's when things precipitated, and you began to make a run for it.
Yes. I realized that the situation was about to peak, and weapons are going to be drawn, and we were kind of in the middle of the square at this point, and I knew that this was the worst position that we could possibly be in. And so in order to give us at least a couple seconds of time, I threw the wildling salt directly at Baru's face.
All right, and so from there you regrouped with the survivors, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, some survivors and some sort of life drinker resistance. But yes, the survivors were there, sort of escorting us, providing cover fire.
So you could probably clue in for what was happening on her end. She was with the survivor group.
Right. So Bea spends some time, fills in details that you wouldn't know, just in terms of when they showed up, who they were following. They were coming after the Special Forces group that they saw converging on the island.
Okay.
So after exchanging some details, getting some orders, like order of when people showed up, that sort of thing correct, more or less you have a timeline of you killing Boru while hunting Kree, you messing up Boru's mine, him sending assassins after you, you having to go into hiding, you coming back out, going after Vulcan, and then that angering Boru more because of his financial involvement. So when you go to Little Inlet and he tracks you to there, that's when he poisons the island in retribution. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds pretty correct. Geez, when you don't have the context of sort of the dark magics, it really makes us sound like the bad guys.
Well, then let's go with what we can and are willing to prove in a court of law. What's the story we tell?
Well,
We just tie Boru to all of his crimes, don't we? All the crimes we can prove, anyway.
What were we threatening? What about Boru's life? Is there a way to say life drinker without saying life drinker? Like, is there a sort of a illegal relationship element of this life drinker cult that we can...
I think the more people we drag in, the more that this becomes a problem. We only have Boru on the hook, and he might be the only one we could go after.
yeah.
But it can be the loose thread.
After all, how was someone dead and then alive? He proved that he was dead, so...
I want to see, because we asked for my court case documentation.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see that? I want to,
Yep.
Could you whip up some information for me about what evidence did they have that I had killed Boru?
The evidence they had was verbal accounts only from Boru's fellow survivors.
I was going to say, Laszlo was the only one who knew. Laszlo was pretty much the only survivor from that.
Yeah.
So just Laszlo, and then there were some people who picked him up on horseback and helped him get out. People that you never really interacted with, just sort of ancillary. One of them you only recognize now. There's an account from Dreadnought being one of the people early on. Otherwise, there's no body, there's no autopsy. It's just eyewitness accounts. That's all that ties you to this.
Yeah. Okay. So we could spin a story that we had gotten into an altercation with them, which they then spun into a murder.
And this one, and Pitt points at Dreadnought's affidavit and goes, "This one is the Special Forces. The Special Forces were involved with Boru since very early on."
Yeah.
Would it be...
because the Special Forces had Dreadnought, and
Would it be acceptable to bring to the court that we had found evidence of illegal activity on Boru's part? And that investigation is what sort of...
Depends on the evidence.
why were we originally... We were going after Crete, that's why we were...
Right, because he was
You found a weird meat man in the mountains.
Yeah.
So
we were searching for somebody.
So we could say that we were sort of following up on a lead, or Vesta rather was following up on a lead about, some illegal activity, and then that is what sparked this whole thing. And Boru has been
Sparked the original altercation,
and Boru has been sort of trying to hide his tracks this whole time, and that checks out because Boru has done a lot of illegal things.
When did you guys meet Red and Blue? And Selma, but Selma can't testify.
Oh, Red and Blue, that was right. That was right at the very beginning. Right after we had sort of let Kree get away. We were just sort of figuring out that Kree wasn't a great person, and then we were approached by Red and Blue.
And so that's when you began working together. And then, did you go with them to hunt him down?
Yes, because Blue and Red escaped from the prison that when the murder trial happened, they were imprisoned, and then they escaped.
I'm talking about the first time you met them ever in the game.
The first time we've ever met them.
What? Yeah. They went... No, I don't think they went with us.
Before the murder trial.
Did they go with us? I think they did. No,
they were sentenced with you. They went all the way to Delta with you before the sentencing.
Yeah, no, they totally were there when we killed... Yeah, they were totally there the whole time.
We were tracking them, which is why we were in Delta at all.
So was it Blue that had the lead on them?
Yeah, so you guys were basically
We met Blue and Hammerhold after we parted ways with Kree.
As I recall, I think you guys were just going to like disrupt the meeting down at New Farm Market, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you kept hunting them, and all you were doing was legally following them and escaping from altercations.
Yeah. So we got in. Yeah, so we were following them, because of a lead that they were doing. I mean, what illegal activity?
There's
Immoral,
suspicious deaths in the hospital.
That's right. No, that's totally it.
They were tied to suspicious deaths in the hospital.
There was
when you snap and go suspicious deaths in the hospital tied to that, there's something from an obscure legal statute, not that obscure for you, Henny, because of what you used to do, but still obscure in most people's minds. Something that in Vengrum, which you're from, that's where Vesta's from, you can charge someone with what is called justified violence, which is basically like you still killed someone, but we can prove that like you were doing it to defend yourself, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had completely forgotten this whole thing started because he murdered someone at a hospital.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Okay. Suspicious deaths at a hospital. So we were going after him to follow up on the suspicious death in the hospital. We then got into an altercation with them. And during this altercation, nobody died in this altercation, right?
No, that's not true. There were some hired mercenaries that I'm sure weren't feeling too great after.
By which they were dead.
The aggrieved parties weren't murdered.
Yeah, the aggrieved parties were not murdered.
At least not permanently.
So we got into this altercation, and after this altercation, like, we split up after this altercation. Boru decides to pin us with the murder to get us out of the way. Because he's tied to the person who is tied to the suspicious deaths in the hospital.
And then that's when Pitt's eyes light up and goes, the first abuse of government power for personal reasons. The conviction.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so
Could we frame this as just a long, elaborate revenge plot from Boru?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's essentially what it is.
That is
Absolutely.
what it is.
It's just, up until now, it's sort of revenge against what, right? Because I feel like the jury, if we had said, we swung an axe at his neck, but he survived, I feel like, he might be justified. But if he was murdering people in a hospital...
Well, that was Kree.
Yeah.
But
he
might have had a sip. You don't know.
He was tied to the person.
He was tied
to the person who was suspicious, or we were investigating for the suspicious deaths in the hospital.
And we can strengthen that with the Chickadee company taking over from the Redcoat Mining Company after his...
We can have your case fizzle. We can just say you went to investigate these leads about the hospital deaths. You encountered Boru, and since then he's been trying to silence you. Yes. And you had to leave. You had to drop the case.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I mean...
And then we also had a Kree head, so the case was kind of closed.
We had to drop
his head.
We left and got a job working for the Redcoat Mining Company.
And that's where it just starts snowballing.
We were looking for somebody who was not contacting. Was it their sister? Were they related?
Yes.
Or were they friends?
It was their partner.
Their partner. Okay. Yeah. So somebody hired us to go into the Redcoat Mining Company to find this person.
So now, you've went sniffing into whatever Boru was doing then, potentially with these hospital deaths, retribution. You, by pure coincidence, start investigating the human trafficking.
Yeah.
You start putting his nose in his business again. That's when things get violent. You start getting pursued. You go into hiding. Eventually, you resurface through... I think we have to cut everything else because I don't think we can talk about that. I think we just say you were in hiding.
Yeah.
you resurface with Trade Association and Void Bay documents in Little Inlet and that whole thing. And that's when he goes for the poisoning.
Yeah.
Do you think we can make that work?
I think so.
That sounds good. I'd like to.
Well, this is the first part in what's going to be a long few weeks of getting these documents in order and a long few months and years of trials, but I think we have a case.
Awesome.
We have a case against Boru.
And then, once we have that thrown out of court, legally you can't be charged for the same crime twice, so if you just kill Boru.
I don't know if that's a thing here.
Yeah, if we were to rob Boru, get charged for it, and then rob him again, I think we would still just get charged for it.
Yeah.
That's a legal loophole.
Yeah.
It's the same crime twice.
The same crime
So
twice.
I couldn't be charged for the first murder of Boru again.
Yeah.
But I could be charged for the second murder of Boru. Because it's completely unrelated crime.
Not if you went back in time.
Well, there's also, like, you can resolve a matter with prejudice, which is basically, like, this is resolved, and if you try to bring it up again, this is our default no kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of like, no, we finished this, and we're not letting you dredge it back up. This is done. Don't touch it. This is resolved with prejudice. No.
Like a person who really wants to talk about their anime waifu.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were coming after me with that before you said anime waifu. I was scared.
Like a person who really wants to talk about how much they hate Snape.
Yeah, see,
It's like, okay, I understand you have opinions about how much you hate Snape, so what we're going to do is we're going to now make a decision that we're not hearing about this, and furthermore, the Snape discussion shall not be brought up again in the court of friend.
not only do I hate Snape, I hate Snape so much I have opinions on how much I hate Snape.
The thing is, we've had that me and Gabe have had that discussion.
Also, I should just say, session's good. This devolves into, like, you guys doing legal stuff and a time jump. So, cool. Bloodwine. Continue.
Yeah.
Snape.
Snape is one of them. People crossing sidewalks without the signal is another one.
Yep.
They know the risks when they do it.
Yep. That's valid. That's valid.
But I think Princess Diana is also one that we just kind of don't talk about.
I love these
See, the thing
things.
about that in vague terms is that it could be anything from conspiracies to just, like, really specific nitpicks to, like, oh, people are always talking about Princess Diana, but Princess Diana was just a famous person 15 years ago. Like, I don't know the Gabe take on Princess Diana.
No, you know it very well because the specific example you gave is actually the one.
Oh, it's been 15 years?
Yeah.
Actually, I have no idea how long it's been.
It's been longer than 15 years.
It's been 25. But
25th
anyway,
anniversary.
Gabe's argument is that nobody knows who Princess Diana is.
I wonder if they're gonna print her, like, face on currency this year as, like, an anniversary thing.
Anniversary of the time that she got killed because she was gonna unveil the royal family's pedophile prank.
Actually, though, I just double-checked it, and, like, 1997, so yeah, 25 years is 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think she's called.
Anyways, that's a weird way to end this stream with, like, get over Princess Diana. It's
Get
been
over Princess
23
Diana,
years.
guys. Come on, God.
Good.
So you can find us at twitch.tv/Mr. Cronin. You can find us at YouTube. You can find us at youtube.com/Mr. Cronin. You can go to bloodwine.fandom.com to find the rules to this game. They haven't changed much in the last little while because it turns out in the middle of a global pandemic, sometimes you don't get more productive. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes you don't get more free time.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
It is how it be.
Yeah, this game has utterly stalled since pandemic. Well, it stalled a little bit before, and then now I have an excuse.
Yeah.
COVID did it.
So yeah, come back next week.
Next stream
been
is
fun having you
going to
around.
be tomorrow because I decided I want to play Hardpoint Shipbreaker on stream
Ooh.
because God damn it, I'm obsessed with that game. It's so goddamn good.
It does seem like it's the ultimate Zen. Just
It is. It really is. So, if you're into slowly and methodically deconstructing a ship, let me know and join me tomorrow. Other than that, we have New Vegas, where we have hot takes about being an average human being, and Game of Thrones and stuff. And yeah. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for all your support, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.